正義と悪、もはやその次元は超えた。今は勝つこと、生きることが全て。
So, God of Destruction Toppo is a thing now. Is he really as much of a game changer as it seems? Is Toppo the biggest threat, or is Jiren truly a mortal that not even a God of Destruction can defeat? What about Belmod? Was he just given his pink slip? Is a little training with the gods, along with deciding that you want to be a God of Destruction, really all it takes to ascend? So many questions need answered. Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. So here it is. Explaining Dragon Ball's Deities Part 4, Toppo, the God of Mustache. The Mustache of Destruction. Damn it! Sorry, one more. The God of Destruction. That's it, sorry. Toppo, the God of Destruction. So I'll get the rant part of this video out of the way first. It's cool that Toppo became a God of Destruction. It's interesting, but it's not something that I think should have happened within the main timeline, within the main continuity. But I decided that Super probably should not even be canon back when Kaba first went Super Saiyan with virtually no effort. After that, they've been running around throwing power-ups and throwing transformations at people like they're going out of style. And this is another example of that. I mean, yes, we have known that he was a candidate to become a God of Destruction, and we know he trained with the gods, but the last step to becoming a God of Destruction is to make up your mind. Like, it's really that simple. A mortal ascends and becomes a god, and the best that you can come up with is he makes up his mind to ascend? Come on. That's the textbook definition of anticlimactic, if you ask me. We don't really know much about what happened with Toppo prior to the tournament, but based on the few facts that we do know, we can make a pretty good guess. Honestly though, I would love to see a few episodes about Toppo just because he's a mortal that became a god, and I want to know what he had to go through to get to that point. But there are a few things that we do know. We know that Toppo had been training with Belmod and the angel from that universe because when he transformed, the angel said that they were going to see the results of their training. We also know that the only beings capable of using destruction energy are the gods of destruction, so learning to use destruction energy could not have been part of that training, because he would have had to have been a god while he was training to do that, but he wasn't. He became a god during Super, and it's just not possible for him to have been a god before he became a god. That's simple logic, right? And since he wasn't a god, he could not have used the powers that only gods can use. Unless you're in the manga, where apparently that rule does not apply because Goku Hakai'd the shit out of half of Zamasu. So we don't know much about his training to become a God of Destruction. Does Toppo have God Ki? I don't remember if they said that he did or not. I'm not sure if he does. If he did they ever say that? Leave me a comment and let me know if they did or they didn't. Now, we know that in order for him to become a god, he had to make up his mind about if he wanted to be a God of Destruction or not. So he was offered the position at some point in the past but did not take it immediately, which really makes a lot of sense. You can't be some big guy running around talking about fighting for justice while you're blowing up planets, destroying civilizations, and killing billions of people on a whim. Kinda goes against what the Pride Troopers are supposed to be doing. He's gonna name his destruction energy Justice Hakai. So this really begs the question though. I mean, if Beerus and Whis, or even Shin possibly, decided that Goku and Vegeta were candidates to become a God of Destruction in Universe 7, would they also be able to become gods of destruction just by deciding that they wanted to? Like Toppo, they have trained with the gods, and the gods are quickly getting caught up to. You got Jiren, who is supposed to be a god killer, someone so strong that even a god can defeat him. We have Goku unlocking Ultra Instinct, which is a technique generally reserved for the gods, a form that it's difficult for even a god to attain, and Goku, a mortal, managed to do it twice in the span of like 5 minutes. And there's Frieza and Goku both surviving Sigur's destruction energy. And we got Toppo's big ass running around as a god of destruction because he decided that he wanted to be one for fun or whatever. The question now though is, how is Universe 7 going to deal with this? How are they going to deal with this new threat? Because he's strong. He's a god of destruction. His destruction is on a different level than what Goku and Frieza experienced from Sidra's. When it blew up, it warped space in the dimension and cracked the fighting stage in half. On top of that, he can surround himself with destruction, making it virtually impossible to touch him. Ki blasts just fall apart. And I'm assuming that if you tried to punch him, the same thing would happen. You'd probably lose your hand. So, or your whole body. Who knows? So, the way things stand right now, there's no way to hurt him, really. Based on what Beerus said, he has to charge up his attacks. So that's a weakness to a certain extent, but it doesn't really matter because even if he has to charge his attacks, you can't hurt the guy because he's surrounded by destruction energy. So the only hope really is to have Toppo do what Frieza did when he turned golden and end up running out of energy, because like any other form of energy, it's not going to be infinite. And at this point though, I think Android 17's fate is sealed. He's done. But the way that Frieza was knocked off the land on that ledge, it's fairly obvious that Frieza still has a role to play. I'm trying to avoid reading the spoilers, but I kind of feel like Vegeta's going to end up beating him. Who knows? Another big question though is, what does this mean for Belmod? There are 12 universes and there are 12 gods of destruction. Can a universe have 2? Or does this mean that Belmod has to go? Did he just get fired? Did he quit? What happens afterwards? I mean, there's 2 gods of destruction for Universe 11 now. What are they going to do? They're going to be partners or something? Is that possible? They didn't really explain the whole god of destruction, how it works in the series yet. They're probably not going to. But he could have been making that sacrifice for his universe. Who knows? But if that's the case, though, I mean, is this a sacrifice that Beerus would be willing to make? Because like I said earlier, Goku and Vegeta have both trained with the gods. They both have God Ki. What would it take for them to ascend? Because that would be the transformation to end all transformations, really. To be honest, though, I'm really more interested in the whole mortal becoming a god process than I'm interested in Toppo being the one that became a god. But still, I mean, if Toppo has to be the one to do it, it's kind of cool being able to see a mortal become a god. But I do wish it would have been somebody else. Because, I mean, honestly, other than Ribrianne, Toppo is my least favorite character in the tournament. Now, I know that this video was supposed to be explaining Toppo, but we don't really know enough about God of Destruction Toppo to really explain the guy. I mean, I've said pretty much everything. I mean, we know he's God of Destruction now. He beat out of Frieza. He's about to kill Android 17. And that's about it, really. So, I guess that's all I've got for this video. Don't forget, if you like the video or any of the other content on my channel, to like, subscribe, share, dislike if you don't like it, whatever. But I will see you guys next time.